quick. I mean, 200 mile an hour is not even
Yeah.
funny in here. It's just, it's a really fun plane. Katie's favorite part is when he does the roller coaster.
Yep.
So this is 5-7 golf.
Is this what y'all are looking at?
And yeah, he just told me yesterday, he said 21 and it's huge. I said, you know what? I have a guy in town who says, I would love to partner on something like this. But this plane actually came, so he was shopping around when he was getting his license, told his wife, same thing I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
We can pay rent on a plane.
Yeah.
Or we can buy one and own it.
Yeah.
And we'll always get our money back. They were in Iowa looking at something that turned out to be a piece of junk.
Uh-huh.
And they had called an A&P over there. Somebody said, hey, this guy has got one. The owner died, da-da-da-da-da-da. So they flew over, Doc took Dennis, they flew to Iowa.
Uh-huh.
They're looking at this plane. The guy said, you don't want this plane. He goes, but I know where there is one.
Mm-hmm.
He says, this widow in South Dakota, but she wants me to do a pre-sale inspection. She's donating it to some ministry out in Idaho or something.
Uh-huh.
He said, but you could call. So before they even leave, Dennis calls and says, hey, Mrs. So-and-so, you don't know me, but I'm standing here talking to this mechanic that you're going to have look at your plane. And would you mind if we just had a conversation? Well, not right now. Okay. So he gave her a week. He called her back. And basically, the short version of the story, he said, what were you going to get as a donation credit for that plane? He says, now, if you want, she said, well, they're going to take the plane, sell it, and donate the money to mission work. So the organization she was giving the plane to wasn't keeping the plane. They didn't want the plane. They're just going to sell it. He says, well, what were they going to credit you? And she told me, he said, would you take $500 more than that? She said, yeah, absolutely. So he flew up to South Dakota a week later, and he wrote her a check. And so he's been flying in this, and he's got 400 or 500 hours on it that he's put on it. And you know, and it's well kept. Everything's, yeah. So this is our plan right now. I'm about ready to do my knowledge test.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you where you're at on your CDL. So,
well, I've been working on this stupid thing with inspecting the food there. We checked the test center, and it says closed to testing. You know, come back August, come back September 1st. Just last weekend in our EAA meeting, pilot. But anyway, this gal, she's on the breakfast long forward. Well, she got it. Challenger. The 180, under 180. And yeah, right. She was getting Katie's do this. What do you do? Go to Oracle Aviation and just walk into a testing center. Don't try to do it at the federal office.
you talking about for your ground school part?
Ground school.
Why didn't you just do it through Sporties?
Well, we're doing Sporties.
Putting down York, AWAS.
Alright, got it. Peace. Alright. Fairmont traffic, Skyline 80 Papa Echo. Taxiing to Fairmont. Fairmont traffic, Skyline 80 Papa Echo. Taking off 17, departing to the south, Fairmont. Bit of right crosswind, and boy, it's kind of full too. Look at it, kind of
Know it.
drifting around there. Alright, instruments green. Speed's alive. And rotate. Positive rate, flaps up.
Are ready for your Coke?
Let me get us here, kind of.
Well, you had already been drinking on it. I didn't think you'd drink any.
No.
These are Katie and Amy ate cookies. Katie helped her, so.
Good deal, and good too.
Oh.
Perfect dessert for our Mexican lunch that we thank you for, Jeff. Appreciate you picking up the tab for that. Although we had to fight him for it, but he told the guy, plus he knows the guy that owns the place, he said, my credit card wasn't any good. I just said, well, Jeff doesn't tip, so.
Yeah, small town, Geneva, Nebraska, and really one of the just about the only choice in town is the Mexican restaurant. It was really good, though. Well, if it's your only choice, it's a good thing it is good.
Isn't that the truth? And he stopped for that Coke. I could use that.
Yeah. Hang on to it for a minute and I'll split the last cookie with you. So we're headed back home and we had a fun day.
Yeah, we did. We had a good day. We had thought about going to the car museum, but then Jeff K picked us up, took us out to eat lunch, showed us town, and I kind of thoroughly enjoyed that part of things.
We did too. There, you know, lots of things. Airport we landed at used to be a training base in World War II. Lots of interesting facts about it.
So it was an Army air base. They trained bombers here, B-17s, B-24s, B-29s. And when you came in on final, just to the left of the runway on the apron, there's some silhouettes painted there. One is a B-17 and one is a 24, I believe. And they're built or they're painted to scale on the pavement, so you can see. This is what it would have looked like if there was a plane sitting there when you came in. But the runway complex here, which was 3 runways back in the day, now one's covered in corn in the landscaping business. They poured all this concrete, built these hangars, and trained bomber pilots. And there was an entire community here, just to the east of the airport where the corn is. There was an 800-bed hospital. There was thousands of people living here for a couple of years in the late years of the war, 43 to 45. And then as soon as the war was over, decommissioned it. And then some 30, 40 years later, then the state took it as surplus, and so now it's a state airfield. It's one of about 8 bases in this area. This particular one was a bomber base. There's some around here that were fighter pilot bases. The interesting thing here is that the Doolittle Raiders, the crew that dropped the bomb on Nagasaki and that flew over and dropped the bombs on Japan, they were training here. They were part of the group that was training here. When the orders went to Doolittle to go, hey, get yourself a crew, he was in San Antonio or wherever he was. He came up here and recruited the best guys they had here in Fairmont, Nebraska, took them down, they trained there, then they went to Hawaii, and then they made the flight over to Japan and dropped the bombs.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
And the little town is really a nice little town. So again, small town Americana did not disappoint. You know,
It rarely does, doesn't it?
You're right. It was nice to have a tour guide. Kind of showed us some things I didn't have to research.
That's the truth.
Nice family. We had never met Jeff's wife, Amy, but she's just really nice too.
No.
Great visiting with them.
And it's funny, out of the whole family, just Jeff and Katie are the ones who are aviation. And
Yeah, Amy is kind of like, if it gets me somewhere, I want to go. And it's below 3,500 feet. It doesn't matter if you're going east or west or anywhere, right?
3,000 AGL.
Okay.
So it's not. Remember that everything in feet is MSL, above sea level.
Right.
And then, but you got to know what your
elevation
is where you're at, and then add 3,000. Then you just kind of go whichever direction you want to go.
Oh, up here it was around 2. So, correct? Wasn't it around 2?
Well, 1,600 was the field elevation there. Remember, because the TPA was 26.
Oh, 4,500 feet. You're
4,500, yeah. So even though if we wanted to drop 1,000 and go 4,500, we could.
Right.
Even though that's an even number, but it's because we're within 3,000 AGL.
Right.
118 knot ground speed's not as good as what we had coming up, was it?
Oh. You know, when we first got in the air, it said like an hour and 20 minutes. Boy, at any time I looked up there and it was less than an hour.
We were still climbing.
I know, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was basing that off of, our 91 knot climb out speed, so. Zoom in, see what our range looks like. Our destination. Alright, so here's where we're going. And this ring right here is when we reach our reserves, which we're well within. Then, of course, this outer green ring that's when you're out of gas.
Okay, dokes. I think we could land before then.
Oh yeah, we'll land well before we run complete. So right now we have, if you look right here, we got 36 gallons remaining. burning 15.6 gallons an hour. And we only have 1 hour for ETA. So we've got better than two hours of fuel burn left.
There's another neat feature on the G1000. I mean,
Yeah.
you already knew kind of, had already figured it in your head, but it's kind of nice to pull that up and go, okay, look how far we can go, and
Yeah.
based on our, speed and all that.
Well, it's nice to be able to graphically see that you have the range, and of course that's if you make sure that the fuel you have on board is accurate. Which,
You did.
And
You
I
did.
stick it to always make sure. And the funny thing is even when you tell them to top it off, you really need to check, because one guy's top off might be a half an inch or so below the tab, and another guy's might be where it's actually almost overflowing.
Yeah.
And actually, it has to be almost overflowing for you to say that this is full.
Yeah.
And then what I do is, and I might get beat up for this, even though I stick it and I have an accurate reading, I still deduct 5 gallons, because by the time I crank it up and we get the PFD and FD booted up, and then I get to the page for the engine page to get my gallons remaining, it's burned a couple of gallons,
Yeah.
just sitting there idling. And so I just go ahead and knock off 5 anyway.
Yeah.
I don't use that in any of the calculations. It's just that I got an extra 5 that I don't count on.
Yeah.
And it's not really 5, it's probably a couple of 3, but
Yeah.
I tell you, Jeff had texted me and said last night and this morning, he said, I don't know, he goes, it's awful windy and gusty. And it was almost like, well, flying in Kansas or Nebraska, I'm sure it's the same way. It had some pretty good gusts. And the bad thing is they didn't have AWAS or ATIS at their airport. We had to get one from 20 miles away. And it was kind of more or less landing on the seat of your pants more than anything.
Yeah. And it was so funny because there are cornfields. I mean, in between the runway and the taxiway, even it's like corn's planted. And we were flying over, and of course you're on approach. Then I'm not really going to say anything. I could really see the wind blowing through that corn.
Yeah, it was gusting up pretty good.
Are you going to do an approach?
Yeah, because we might as well go straight in.
Yeah. ILS. We'll just do vectors to final.
We'll just go straight on in. Look at Hookham. I think Hookham is. See.
Yeah, okay. You want me to add that one to the route?
Might as well.
Oh yeah, Hookham is just right.
It's almost straight in.
Yeah.
So
That'll get
pull
you-
it up. Let me look at the approach plate, and I go ahead and brief it right quick. 3,600, then 3,000 at Diak. Then from there, zoom in. Let me look at my elevations here. All right, 3,600. 3,600 to Hookham. Then Kayak is 3,000, and that matches the approach plate. That's the final approach fix. All that matches up. Now I like to see that. Back over here. Get us straight on in. Good there. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead. hook 'em, diac, and then the runway. Yeah, we're almost just straight in from where we're at. It's not even changing AR heading at all.
I know it. You have that in the flight plan, but it's not activated yet, correct?
I've got it loaded. I'll activate it when we get a little closer.
Why wouldn't you activate it now?
Well, for what we're doing, it's probably fine. I'll go ahead and activate it. If you're really flying IFR, you don't know if you're going to get vectored by ATC or anything.
True.
So you just go ahead and load it, and then that way you can either activate vectors to final, or they'll activate a leg, or they may want to put you in the procedure turn because another plane's coming in ahead of you. There's just too many variables, so it's best just to load it, wait until you're a few miles out before you activate it. But VFR and then just kind of coming in, we're just going to shoot approach. Plus, it's straight in anyway.
Exactly.
Wichita, Colonel James Jabara Airport. Automated weather observation 2105 Zulu. Wind 140 at 12. Visibility 9er. Sky condition clear. Temperature 25 Celsius. Dew point 14 Celsius. Altimeter 3014. Remarks. Density altitude 2,700.
The approach arm now, since it's got approach.
No, still.
Jabara area traffic, King Air 771, Pop Alpha Medevac taxiing from the ramp to runway 18 Jabara.
Jabara traffic, Cessna 87 Kilo, turning right crosswind, will be departing pattern north of Jabara.
Newton over there.
Yep.
Jabara traffic, Cessna 87 Kilo, turning right downwind for departing pattern to the north of Jabara.
Oh, I see that plane down there. The one that's following that road.
Oh, okay. He's 2,600 below us, right?
Yeah, he's low. Sometimes stuff is so easy to see, and then other times...
Depends on how the light hits it, what angle you're looking at it at.
I'm looking down on it, and it's, I'm seeing the wings reflecting, so that helps.
Jabbar traffic, Skylane 80 Papa Echo is 15 to the north, inbound for 18, Jabbar.
Colonel James Field, Gulfstream November 404, Julius Sierra is 8 miles out of Hookman for the RNAV 18.
Him right there.
6 stops.
Jabbar traffic, Skylane 80 Papa Echo is 15 to the north, going to enter the ILS for 18 full stop, Jabbar.
Jabara area traffic, Medevac 99, 11771 Papa Alpha is departing runway 18 at Jabara, Wayman.
And Colonel James Jabara traffic, Gulfstream November 405, Julius Sierra is 4 miles out of Huckham for the RNAV 18.
He's coming in, yeah.
Yeah, and we're 3 miles.
Yeah.
You got a Skylane that's north of you, 3 miles from Hookham. We'll do a 360 and let you take the active.
Thank you for 405 Julius Sierra, and we got John Dickett, 1100 below. We're leaving 4,700.
Just do a 360 here.
Yeah. We were going to intercept almost the same place, same altitude.
Yeah.
Both headed for Hookham.
Yeah, we're breaking off now.
And we're joining final on 11 miles for Jabara traffic. And Colonel James traffic, Gulfstream 405 Julius Sierra is on a 9 mile final runway 18 on the RNAV. And Jabara traffic, November 5757, Echo is at exiting Wind departure for the northeast. Bar traffic.
And Jabbar traffic, Skylane 80 Papa Echo. We are 13 to the north, about 2 miles from Hookham. Going to intercept the ILS for 18. Full stop, Jabbar.
Bar traffic 405 Juliet Sierra, 5 mile final runway 18 coming over dike at 2,900.
Alright, we got gas. We'll be looking for you. We'll slow it up.
Bar traffic 405 Juliet Sierra, 3 mile final runway 18 Jabbar.
Jabbar traffic, Skylane 80 Papa Echo is on 11 mile final 18 Jabbar.
Better hurry and catch up. Yeah, I'll slow to 140.
Alright, prop in, mixture rich. We go down to 3,000.
Clarence Camjet 831, we're on the ground over at Jabbar, looking for IFR to Guthrie. Golf, Oscar, Kilo.
Just lining up the needles. Jabbar traffic, Skylane 80 Papa Echo's on a 7 mile final of 18 full stop, Jabbar.
And 405 Juliet Sierra.
Our glide slope coming in. Alright, 10 degrees of flaps, 2 miles for diag. Jabbar traffic, Skylane 80 Papa Echo's on a 5 mile final, 18 full stop, Jabbar.
Made diac.
Back to the runway, right? 620. Jabbar traffic, Skylane 80 Papa Echo, 3 mile final, 18 full stop, Jabbar. Close to glide slope there. Jabbar traffic, Skylane 80 Papa Echo, short final, full stop 18.
Jabbar traffic, King Air 831 Uniform Papa is taxiing out from Midwest to Romeo 18 Jabbar.
Alright, we should have 2 reds and 2 right on glide slope.
Minimums.
Nice landing.
I got a little squirrely there when we first touched down.
But, I mean, goodness.
I got a gusty crosswind, as you can see by the flag there.
We're right on center line.
Jabbar area traffic, King Air 831 Uniform Papa, Blue and White King Air, departing off of runway 18, won't be straight out. Jabbar.
Jabbar traffic, Skylane 80 Papa Echo, vacating 18, Jabbar.
This is what you were racing to, to hook him.
Yeah.
I think he.
That's why I spun around and let him have it. He got a lot more speed than we had.
Oh yeah, big jet. Goodness.
Box ready for us there.
Looking good.